and welcome to the Raw Preview. We are the Dadley Boyz of What Culture. I'm Adam Wilborn, joined by Michael Hamlet and Michael Sidgwick, here to look ahead to tonight's episode of Men Now Row. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review Raw, but also Fran and SmackDown on the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. You know, we Dynamite, AW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round-up that we complete. A quiz, of course, on Wrestle Culture. As I said, they're joined by Hamlet and Sidgwick to look ahead to Raw tonight. And Hamlet, the Liv Morgan revenge tour continues.
Oh, now that everybody's seen the big kiss, because a bunch of people wouldn't have seen it last week, obviously, until it,
the kiss heard around the world because they couldn't see it.
Yeah. The revenge tour now is the deconstruction of the Judgment Day / full sex with Dominik. Mm-hmm. Is that right? It's weird, this. I absolutely endorse them going with Liv Morgan. I think the character feels like it has momentum, no matter how much I think the matches pretty much never deliver. And I'm not yet seeing that kind of... I'm not seeing the crowd connection that we had with someone like a Jey Uso, who also doesn't bring the matches, but brings that obvious connection. I'm yet to see it, but I think they're on the right track with her. I think you go with this. I think the Rhea Ripley return, the payoff, how amazing that's going to be, whenever it happens, is going to be what all of this investment in the Liv Morgan character is all about.
I felt like he was protesting a little bit too much on that podcast clip we all saw on social media.
Yeah.
Where he hoyed the drink at someone saying, oh, Rhea Ripley's kind of hot. And he's like, what did you just say?
Yeah, take a name out of your mouth, all that sort of stuff.
Some damn respect.
But last week, I think was the most interesting any of this got, with the sort of the idea that maybe Finn Balor and JD McDonough are perhaps working with Liv Morgan, and Dominik is being used as the pawn, and Finn's finally sick of Damien Priest and doing something about it. I'm more keen to see if there's any clues about that dropped than just the obvious, Liv's trying to have full sex with Dominik as a way to further needle Rhea Ripley. I think that bit of her plan is done. She got a belt. She's created that sense of tension. I'm looking forward to seeing it play out. There are no matches other than Rhea Liv at the end of this currently.
Yeah, I mean, she's not over. She doesn't deliver good promos. She doesn't execute good matches, but she might kiss a boy. I mean, it's not
pretty hard.
No, not really. I just continue to be underwhelmed by the Liv Morgan character. I continue to be underwhelmed by WWE Raw's direction since WrestleMania 40. It's not good. It's not good, this. I had to watch that cage match. You can't tell me this is good.
I'm intrigued to see if Braun Strowman has chased JD McDonough to this, across the country, to this arena tonight. But it is interesting to see what it's going to be like, a Becky Lynch-less Raw.
Yeah, a free agent for real. Like, man, she must be working on a handshake with WWE. There must be. I'd be really surprised if she didn't re-sign with WWE. Pleasantly so, because I think that'd be a pretty seismic move in terms of like the star wrestlers now if she was to turn up anywhere, not just AEW, but anywhere. I think it'd be massive for Becky Lynch just to not be WWE's Becky Lynch. I can't see that happening. But I mean, that links us to Chad Gable, doesn't it? Like this contract stuff, although I think there are multiple reasons why we find ourselves talking about contracts and late deals and the way that WWE's corporate structure's changed. It's definitely, I've mentioned this in the today, I was talking to Wilborn about this. Triple H loves talking about this partnership with Nick Khan, how it's like the two of them, everything that you see. And Dave Meltzer even kind of said it as much in those awards, didn't he? Triple H, the booker, Nick Khan, the promoter. Was that right?
Yeah.
So like,
I think so.
Even he sees it as they're kind of doing two different jobs and they're working really well together. This contract stuff is not that. Like Becky Lynch having that title, fair enough, they've got it off her and she was able to put Liv Morgan over, and it just looks for anything else like somebody doing business on the way out. Chad Gable's not in that situation. Chad Gable's in this like pretty hot story with a turn incoming, with a big moment incoming, with what we assume to be the Creed brothers turning on Otis or whatever, or him getting his Intercontinental title, all of that kind of stuff. And yet, when is it? Like this week?
Yeah, I was trying to work out the exact day. Friday.
So this is his last Raw if they can't come to an agreement, and they haven't done officially with Becky Lynch. Like we learned about it when Drew did. The Rock made sure of that. Like, I bought you a sword. Forget your storyline. It's just that. So there's like three examples where, for all that like Triple H speaks about how joined up things are with Nick Khan, this TKO philosophy, whatever this contract deal is, It's not remotely.
Might not be a philosophy. They might just be inept.
Yeah,
It's always on the table with WWE. They might just be inept.
It's a difference, though, isn't it? Like it's the days of like somebody being sewn up a year. Wrestlers used to say 2 years or a year between a contract coming up. That's when they'd start getting needled about re-signing. It's certainly very different. But like Chad Gable at the moment, does he want to be the most valuable he's ever been in order to up his negotiation, or is he feeling the stress of, I'm in this amazing role here, and if I don't get a new deal, that's me off television next week? It poses some unique questions that we haven't had in a while about these WWE wrestlers while they're hot, while the product is hot.
Yeah. A silly question. You'd want Chad in AEW?
No, I wouldn't.
No?
No.
Because she struck me as one of those people who, we were talking about Leo Rush, for example, earlier on the Collision review, where we always say, me and Sige, no, that's it. Lock the doors, no one else. And then Leo Rush has that match with Roddy Strong, or a Chad Gable becomes available, and you think, one more then.
With how much TV time Chad Gable has received in WWE of late, let it just be clear abundantly to anyone who might not know me, watching or listening, I think Chad Gable's an incredible professional wrestler. That's not the issue here. The issue is that with how much TV time Chad Gable has received of late, with how hot he's been, with how much wonderful work he's been doing, if he signs for AEW, he becomes I would honestly at this point, 15th, 16th, 17th wrestler who you had to put on pay-per-view and he has to win and he can't lose. And it's so patented, the booking in AEW as it is. I have very pretentiously referred to it as a narrative ecosystem. Chad Gable becomes the umpteenth person he has to be on TV regularly. He has to win his matches. And therefore, he's going to get a win over Brian Cage. Oh, what if he does a Chaos Theory on Brian Cage? How impressive would that look? Week 2, he wins another match. Maybe he'll win one of the 5 titles that he can vie for. All he does is make that booking more patent. He does not need AEW. And maybe that accounts for this new trend where, I don't think it's a hot take to say that WWE's arrogant. What if the belief is that, yes, they can pay money comparative to our offers, but what if they just think of AEW as, you're not going to get a push there, you're not going to do the great WrestleMania in AEW, you're not going to get much TV time, they've got too many wrestlers as it is. What if part of this is explained, A, by the fact that they don't even deem AEW a viable enough option where they believe that the wrestlers can realistically work them into believing that they're going to leverage an offer from them to get an improved deal from WWE. And look, Chad Gable is a phenomenal in-ring talent who is not really a proven drawing card. It doesn't really scan as this impossibility to me that TKA group could look at a Chad Gable and go, we'll get to you when we get to you. No matter how much he's been on Raw, no matter how much acclaim he's been generating, if everyone outside of Roman Reigns, The Rock, and Cody, Charlotte Flair, how they perceive it as a spoke in the wheel. Chad Gable's a spoke in the wheel to them, maybe. I think he's great, but it's just a weird one, this.
Yeah.
I hope they lean into it tonight. I'd have Chad Gable early on in the show say, you guys might have been aware of some chat online or wherever it may be, but tonight is the last night of the Alpha Academy. And so, he fakes doing guys, what a run it's been, eh? We've been in some ups and downs. And then he's like, but I still didn't get to whip Otis with my belt last week. So let's get back to that. And then you have the moment of Otis being like, I'm going to finally stand up to you. After everything Sammy said, especially with the crowd reaction last week, enough's enough. Maxine stood up last week. I'm going to do it this week. And that's when the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile, as you've suggested, come in. And he goes, that's the end of this Alpha Academy. This is the new Alpha Academy, or something along those lines.
The timing of his contract might dictate that this happens, but what happens in the real world is that Chad Gable is cited in the background of a segment involving other wrestlers alongside the Creeds for about 10 weeks before he eventually joins forces with them.
They've had one chat on camera, I remember.
There's been 2, and the second one ended with him saying, think about what I said. So the idea obviously being that an offer has been made, and again, I said this last week, I love all of that. They are pushing sort of like my patience and investment on the Chad, Sammy, proper Intercontinental title matches. They've connected too much, in truth. I think like Chad's had one too many. Like he beat him in the non-title, then he lost in the triple threat. And just because Bronson Reed was there, it doesn't mean that you can just suspend your disbelief completely. Chad Gable had a golden opportunity and he ultimately fell short. So they've stretched that about as far as I think they can. And the worry for me still is that they're thinking, oh, we've got another Sami Zayn breaking up the bloodline on our hands with Otis. And I love Otis, but you don't. Like the goal here should be this new Creeds, new Creeds and Chad Gable stable to get the belt onto Chad like as soon as possible in order to get Sami Zayn free for Money in the Bank for you, if nothing else.
Time's running out.
Like, get that stable together, get them to appear frightening on Raw, like causing trouble, being like a danger straight away.
So I think they've been mean. He's been nasty.
Yeah.
But he's not menacing.
No.
And I think at this point, for it to not feel too mid-card, it doesn't feel as big as it did, this Intercontinental title picture at WrestleMania. He's been nasty. I think he needs to be like really intimidating. The Creeds can add that dimension.
I really hope that's the direction they take tonight. We've also got another gang of people targeting someone. I'm talking about the Judgment Day going after Rey Mysterio. Damien Priest versus Rey tonight with the whole spectre of where's Carlito standing all this.
God, I need to know.
Thoughts?
I mean, I don't hate the match, but I hate Carlito's involvement. I don't like Rey Mysterio, Damien Priest. I don't think is a bad bit of TV matchmaking. I think
Is Drew going to get involved in this?
probably.
I mean, it's 3 Raws to go before Clash.
Is that right?
2 Raws to go.
2 Raws.
2 Raws to
Two
go.
Raws.
2 Raws.
The match is made. Second Raw. I think this is a good match for Damien Priest to win on this show. Carlito will help. There's been that link between the two sides. It's tricky this because I do like what's happening with Damien Priest and Drew McIntyre. I think this is a nice TV match for Damien Priest to win. I think he could do with it.
Mm-hmm.
I've quite enjoyed watching him try to level up, but he is trying. He's still belt make the man, not man making the belt. But I think he's doing a half decent job of it. I think that the matches are always
Main event in the next pay-per-view.
yeah. It's going to be hot as balls. Like it's going to be hot as it was in the studio before we got that fan that you can't see on camera. Like it's perfect. Like honestly, like Drew McIntyre fighting for that title in the Hydro is going to be spot on. Damien Priest is still the tweener really, so it's easy for him to slot in to be in the heel for the night. I cannot wait to see all of this play out. But it's Priest. He's 50-50 with the matches. Sometimes he's got them, sometimes he hasn't. You're going to need to have the match with Rey Mysterio.
With a smaller guy as well, he can have fun chucking him around.
It's set up for him to have a good night.
Rey Mysterio, we talk about Will Ospreay in these terms. Rey Mysterio is the original, Darby Allin as well. Rey Mysterio is the original. If you cannot have an exciting match with this guy, you are terrible, Karrion Kross. Like Damien Priest is better than that, but this could do with being a worldie, I think. But it's not. It's one of those things where it's like, if he has a worldie match with Rey Mysterio, he's in there with Rey Mysterio. It's not going to like forever turn him into a great wrestler after the fact. But he can fake it for a while for the duration of the reign. There are a few better wrestlers in WWE than Rey Mysterio, full stop, but also at making people look legitimate killers. He made CM Punk look like he was 6'5" back in 2010. He should be able, even at this advanced age, to do something special with Damien Priest.
Like there's a fairly obvious, whatever Razor's Edge is called, into a setup for the 619. Counter fun exchange.
He's got to beat him.
Yeah.
And he's got. Thing is about Carlito running that Damien Priest could do with winning this relatively cleanish, but Drew McIntyre. Go on.
What is going on up here?
I never know, man.
So, sorry to interrupt.
That's fine.
Priest wins, relatively clean. Carlito gets in afterwards, like, I'll have a bit of this. Goes to beat up Rey Mysterio.
No reaction.
Your Cruz del Toros, your Joaquin Wilds, maybe even a Dragon Lee return. I don't know what's going on with him right now. And you got Finn Balor and JD McDonough still being chased by Braun Strowman or whatever you want to do. Come in and Judgment Day stand tall. Real, right, you're the heels here. And he's decided, I'm going to be a bastard now because that's what this because he has to be a situational heel, like you say, against Drew. And he's walking back up the aisle, and the fans of Rey Mysterio just devastating. There's a poor fan there with a blue and white luchador mask on, just absolutely devastated. And then you realise, wait a second, that's quite a large child right there. Turns out it's Drew McIntyre in a luchador's mask.
So blue with a white cross, maybe. Yeah.
Thoughts?
A luchador.
Wednesday, yeah.
Done that then.
Maybe. I'm excited for NXT too, mate. Don't worry. All on the Wednesday, of course. Before that, though, we have Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser tonight. They brawled, of course, last week, and this is a shot at redemption, I suppose, for Sheamus.
Yeah, and I think he'll win. A nice TV feud, this, earnestly. Kaiser just hanging around with Gunther means that he's still a guy he can beat. It doesn't, all that Imperium in fighting, and where's Giovanni Vinci, by the way? I want him back.
Aren't you meant to, get behind him?
What,
he's a baby face now. Is he just going to drop off the face of the earth?
Who? Giovanni Vinci?
Vinci.
I miss him. And I think we're going to get the NXT guy we really liked back as well.
The model. Oh.
I just think they're trying to give a break for that, because I think we all want that back. Kaiser, on the other hand, a good match guy who you can beat. And I think down the line, we're going to get Kaiser and Gunther versus Sheamus and Elia. I think that's
What would he have to say about that,
man? Very entertaining.
So yeah, just marks left on each other's body for the Instagram, which I could give or take. But it's going to be pretty gripping to watch all the same. They've beaten the tar out of each other in these little, the moments they get together, you can just say, oh yeah, we'll hit each other really, really hard. And Sheamus, I think, is good for that sort of thing. Sheamus Gunther, they will keep going back to whenever they need that kind of Gunther match. So yeah, I'm up for this.
You could have something fun, where he chops him so much. You think, Gunther's... Then, for some reason, later on, Gunther's cutting a promo, and he's like, right, Ludwig, do the... And he can't do it. He's like, I'm a chest. I can't stand up straight.
Like that.
Gunther gets angry at him.
Red puce chest. I like that.
Yeah, Gunther's in a bit like we talked about this with Nia. He's in a bit of a holding pattern now. He's just wait till SummerSlam, I suppose.
That's a point, actually, yeah. There's going to be nothing for Gunther at Clash at the Castle, is there? Nothing obvious. He was sort of last week.
If you take the Tony Khan principle, then if Sheamus is having a match against one of the lower rung members of the stable or the act, then, 100% of the time, he's going to wrestle Sheamus in a rematch, maybe, Gunther.
One more round. Because Sheamus tweeted, didn't he?
He's done it a lot.
Yeah, he did say never again after the last one, didn't he? Or something like that. There was he didn't, which is where Kaiser
King
was
versus King, though, he could have.
Sheamus was a king, yeah.
He was a king.
Fighting for the crown? For the title shot.
But then you'd need Sheamus to put something big on the line for that, wouldn't he?
His career.
He's going to lose, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
His Raw career.
It's uninspiring as all hell, but I'll be down for it when it happens. That's the Triple H era.
Beat the piss out of each other, basically.
Is it not?
Only slightly. Only slightly.
Yeah, not a great case of the defence here, Hamflet, because it's the final testament attempting to kidnap the New Day we have to talk about next. AOP, Akam and Rezar versus Kofi and Xavier from the New Day with, I assume, Karrion Kross watching on.
Supernatural. I hate it.
So ridiculous. It's ridiculous on two counts. Number one, the final testament suck ass. Number two, going to WWE.com and says, hello. The actual corruption guys are a week. What is it?
Lionel Richie.
What was it?
2 weeks away, fortnight
2 weeks away.
I said Lionel Richie on the SmackDown pod here.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Spent too long with you in this.
It's the proper corruption gang are a couple of weeks away, and Final Testament getting in a little bit of corruption before their spot is taken by Bud Alice's crew. It's the New Day as well. There's something to, I guess, that the New Day are uncorruptible. That's quite sweet. Remember when they were splitting the draft and it was this is the end of the New Day, and it's no, they're going to do this differently. They're going to be mates that just, guess what, you can be on Raw and SmackDown and stay friends. The New Day are going to break away from that ugly tradition. I don't see Karrion Kross's fake magic powers being the thing to tear them apart. One of the most wholesome friendships in WWE history, survived the ugliest period of WWE's creative ever, and if anything, thrived in that environment. Yeah. And Karrion Kross comes along and says, split up. I don't think you Karrion Kross. I don't know if you plan Karrion.
Karrion Kross, who's had more haircuts than wins since he got to the main roster, yeah.
I love that. Split up, please. Go on then. Split up.
Devil on your shoulder.
Xavier
in a way.
Woods, if Kofi's holding you back. You've only won, I don't know how many tag team titles. He was king of the ring.
Authors are paying better. So,
can you imagine literally anyone in the WWE universe going, "Oh no, Karrion Kross, don't split them up. Get Karrion Kross." I don't think anyone's going to care about him as long as he lives.
It's like he's playing Don Callis, isn't he? Like when he sort of gets in the way of friendships.
Watch Don Callis wrestle.
That's it, yeah. In every respect. The Don Callis family in the Final Testament. I think I'll pick the Callis family, thank you.
I don't even like them very much.
No, not a lot.
I don't like them very much, neither.
Karrion Kross is losing a race to the bottom.
Also, the New Day have lost matches before. Just because Akam and Razor beat you, look at the size of them, doesn't make you go, well, guess
Time to pack it in.
Guess we should rethink our entire strategy, policy, decade-long friendship to join. What have they done? Anything? Have they done anything?
What have they done? Anything? They lost at
WrestleMania.
Yeah, they lost all the time, but Karrion Kross used that, like every loss that he's experienced, to say, well, I won actually, because the real quiz was several years later, after several more feuds, your career went off the rails, so it's down to me in a way. Like Drew McIntyre, he claimed...
Imagine that. 1,000 guys.
Yeah.
Like, I know you've got this thing where Levesque will try and put two things together.
Love it.
This is pathetic.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely pathetic. Karrion Kross, this huge oracle, this guy who can manipulate time so that to his eventual whim. And everything that's ever happened is kind of to do with me.
Yeah.
Actually, why don't you win a title then?
Yeah.
Why don't you win a title?
Jordan Grace turns up in NXT, and Karrion Kross is like, I wrestled for Impact before, so you're welcome.
Trying to think of an example here of like how this makes absolutely zero sense. It's like Peter Avalon taking credit for MJF losing to Samoa Joe because MJF once laughed hysterically at the idea of Peter Avalon wanting to join the Inner Circle. And it's like, well, guess what? Look what's happened to him in the end.
Who's laughing?
Completely unrelated.
Who's laughing now?
Who's laughing now?
Karrion Kross has nicked this. Remember when, like, things were going off the rails a bit in New Japan, so Jay White was like, right, got it, Ked list. Like, you just, like, share a video from Dynamite and be like, so this is sort of linked to the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
In a way, I'm kind of responsible for this, guys. I'm the Ked list.
Yes, indeed. It's a load of old bobbins.
The Raw Riddle still to come, and we'll be answering all of your questions. Thank you to everyone who's joining us live on YouTube. Before that, though, one final thing I want to ask you about.
Oh, final thing.
But don't worry, it's also one of these.
It's time to play the game! Time to play the game! Ha 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 ha!
Who's Bron Breakker going to spear tonight?
Yeah.
That video of him coming through the crowd.
Oh my god.
Spectacular.
Third angle just dropped as well. Somebody else is filming it on the phone, and it's from, like, one of the high seats. So at this point, you just see him. You don't see him doing the Lexus King crawling. You just see him do the sprint over the ramp and just all in one fluid motion. Fluid motion, all right.
So
What does that mean?
I came watching it.
I've invented a scenario because he's probably just going to have a bit of a back and forth with...
Bodes well that WWE speed impresses you.
He's going to probably have a back and forth with Postman Pierce, and maybe Ilya was footage of him still selling the spear on like socials. Yeah,
he puts himself in the middle of the ring.
He's in that orgasmic trance.
Come and get me, Braun.
But I've invented a new scenario tonight where Postman Pierce forgets all about Bron Breakker. He's told him, go home, stay home. So I guess that's that problem dealt with.
Yeah.
Which is good because Postman Pierce is going to have his entire energies tonight dedicated to the WWE legend that's just going to be there in Hershey, PA for tonight's show.
Which emanates from which arena?
The Giant Carkery Centre. Sorry, it's just called the Giant Centre. All right. Nearly sold out.
Jack.
Sold more than when they had Smackers there. The turn of the year. Oh no, turn of the year in 2023. But yes, I have the WWE alumni page open in front of me.
Okay.
Basically, this person's going to come out and Postman Pierce is going to be like, so great to have blank here.
You know who's from?
Hershey, PA.
Steve Blackman.
Ooh.
I don't know if he's from Hershey, PA, but he's from Pennsylvania. It's a small place, obviously.
So
as we
Shane
know.
Douglas. Triple H would love to have Shane Douglas getting speared by Bron Breakker.
Triple H would love to have Shane Douglas's entire look and act in 1999 because he did. You get Steve Blackman in there. He probably looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You could have, they're in Hershey. That chocolate, a disgusting one, isn't it?
It's not great.
American chocolate is disappointing relative to how good their other foods are.
Granted. And so they maybe have a performance of like Shanks and Bigfoot playing Sweet Like Chocolate, and he spears all of them.
Perfect. Yeah. Jesus Christ, where'd you pull that from?
His arse. The answer is always his arse. That's where he pulls out his life.
Where's my brain? Bing, bong, bing. Hershey chocolate, Sweet Like chocolate, Shanks and Bigfoot.
I will listen to it when I get back to my desk.
Yeah,
Go.
Banger. Who won? Shanky and Big Show. There we go.
There we go.
Who wants to go first?
I don't care.
I'll go first then.
Okay, I am scrolling through the WWE alumni page. We are doing Pro Evo rules here.
Stop.
Picking on between 1 and 12.
11.
Oh, yes. Sid, do you want to take this one?
Let's just say that the person, the WWE legend that you've just specified to get speared by Bron Breakker is going to have rather sore nipples.
Yeah.
You see, because where do you get speared? Usually like here?
Yeah, your stomach.
Well, Simon Gash, she's got a pair of titties like a 65-year-old woman. How you doing? So if he gets speared...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my nips.
It's out of a pitch, but I'm going to twist. If that's all right.
Okay. Back to Michael Lee Willis, who says Shanks and Bigfoot
Like a
was the first CD I
65-year-old
bought.
woman. How you doing?
Who's the first CD, Shanks and Bigfoot?
Mark Lee Willis.
Great.
And Dan of the Dragon says Sweet Like Chocolate was my second number one, or was the second number one with chocolate in the title. First, of course, being Chocolate Salty Balls.
Yes.
Chef.
Bought that.
Tune.
Cartman singing Come Sail Away on, didn't it, as one of the B-sides?
Yeah, I bought that album. Yeah. Well, the first studio album I ever bought, not including like Dance Hits, 94,
Oh, yeah,
or
Now or whatever,
Now or
yeah.
whatever. The first studio album I ever had purchased on my behalf
Yeah.
was Doggy Style by Snoop Doggy Dogg.
There you go. Bad. By Michael Jackson was mine. First thing I ever like.
But I see, I had Jackson was always my parents. And I would just steal the tapes.
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah. I think I got, it's just funny. What was one of the first albums you bought? History. So the best of Michael Jackson, basically.
We're going to Woolworths to get Slam Jam on tape. Not even
It's
doing
always
a
the
bit.
Fed.
Not even
Always
doing,
go
It's
back to it.
always the Fed
not even
with
doing
you.
a bit. Brett had a pink guitar on the cover. I was like, well, all of this is goated. I think I'll keep this forever.
You seen the green Bret Hart gear he was telling me about on the news the other day?
You know, when he was putting the, it was for the In Your House game on the PlayStation.
Right.
The green, for the green screen and whatever the technology, he was doing some of the moves for it, the motion capture, whatever it was. And it's his gear, but in like lime green.
Oh my God.
Blows your mind. Not like one of them Photoshop jobs, although I do like it when people make those as well. The
Yep.
good ones.
Question in the chat as well. Matt Rain says, Sige, why did he call it Doggy Style? Is that because of his name?
Oh, well, that's part of it. But the other part is that I think he prefers his sexual intercourse from behind in the style of a dog.
Thanks. So you want to go again?
Oh, yeah, it was Simon Gotch, wasn't it? Yeah, twist.
Okay, I'm scrolling through. Tell me when you want me to stop.
Stop.
1 to 12.
4.
Nope.
5.
Not cancelled or dead, it's just AEW.
Yeah, it's Roddy Strong. Rohan Raja.
Twist.
Could have had Road Dogg or Gronk in there.
Oh, not Gronk.
So you stuck with this one.
Oh, God. Stop.
Oh my God. I'm gonna try and transmit to
Yeah.
you a number in
never
my
works.
head.
1 to 12.
9.
No, we're not.
Poor Matt Camp off of WWE's The Bump. That'd be quite good, actually.
That'd be a good bit, right? Because he should be sat in, you know, this. He's doing this podcast where he's like revealing weird secrets of working for WWE. He should be sat in his little Twitter podcast studio and then just get knocked clean out of his chair by Bron Breakker.
If you'd gone one number higher, well, for you would have been pressing this button.
No! No!
Because it's Matt Hardy.
Oh, yeah.
But I would love for him to turn up in WWE.
You're trying to manifest 7 there.
I'm trying to manifest the demise of the company. But yes, specifically 7 for Marty Jannetty.
What do you think he wants to be known for in his career, Marty Jannetty?
Sex.
Sige, same with you then.
Pro Evo rules. If you've never played Pro Evo, you get 3 choices, but you can twist on the first 2.
Okay, I'm scrolling through.
Stop.
Okay, 1 to 12.
3.
Well, Big Show, better get ready because Shanky's one half of this ready.
Twist.
Okay. Going back up.
Diddly, diddly, diddly. Stop.
1 to 12.
Is there a funny number?
It's a real mixed bag.
Yeah.
What's the funniest number? And I'll see if we can telepathically arrive.
Yes, think of it. I mean, I'd say that one.
Yeah.
Well, you just point. 2.
No.
Ah.
Although if they like
Prop up a table.
yeah, if it never got broken,
Then someone would be...
yeah, I think you could be offered Jim the Table Neidhart.
I mean, that doesn't count.
crying.
I get a second guess. 4. From the same row.
Oh, Jinder Mahal?
Twist.
Okay. All on this one.
All on this one, because it's definitely happening. We're not wasting anyone's time. Stop.
Oh, now you're talking. 1 to 12.
5.
Yes.
Is that all right?
That's fine.
Do you want to share with him who's getting speared tonight?
It's Duke the Dumpster Drosy.
I know what was going through his head.
Yeah.
Is he dead?
Yeah, a lot of that.
Has he been in trouble?
Quite a pact.
I think Duke's doing okay.
Yeah. No.
No. Then Bron Breakker can say, I just took out the trash.
Beautiful.
Even though he's the...
Trash man.
What are the questions?
Can you do it at the tip? I'd love to see Bron Breakker at the tip. Like actually being used to crush some of the
Yeah.
garbage that isn't like, you know, like
Oh, but thing's not working. This car really needs to be squashed down into a cube.
spears it.
I'll get you covered.
Leans up against the wall and spears it. Bron Breakker spearing a car. Come on.
I mean, that would be absolutely unbelievable. We should just get him doing that instead of matches.
When he moved the ring that time, that was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Which time? You have to
Yeah.
narrow it down. Right, before we get
I
to...
think you're almost as proud as Bron Breakker as you are of Eric.
Yeah.
He's the avuncular NXT pride.
All your children. This TNA
It's
thing.
like the Christian Cage of NXT.
Yes.
This TNA thing comes up every day at the moment. Like, oh, I'm really excited for Joe Hendry, or like, who could go? You want AJ Styles, don't you?
Yeah.
I get that completely. Sige has made me realise the nightmare scenario of all of this is Matt Hardy on NXT, isn't it? We're only a step away.
Love
do it.
so much.
Don't do it.
Of course he was.
bet he was.
Did he say he looked smooth AF?
I was about to say, what was the road dog called?
You absolute turd, road dog. What a turd.
Okay.
I was going to say turd dog. I was like, dog turd.
Yeah.
The dog turd, Jesse James.
So he always was to me.
Before we get to the
Is that why
comments...
he would hump people and hump midair because he was a dog?
Yeah.
Explain his lack of wrestling ability as well.
The dog turd right out of Mr. Ass. That's both outlaws.
Before we get to the questions, thank you to everyone in the comments who's got involved live on YouTube. It's now time for the Raw Riddle. Right. Another one to test the old noggin. I'm light as a feather, and yet the strongest person can't hold me for 5 minutes. What am I?
That's oddly specific.
I'll leave that one with you.
Yeah, you might have to this time.
Revisit this on the Raw review tomorrow. I'm light as a feather, and yet the strongest person can't hold me for 5 minutes. What am I? Right. Let's go to the YouTube comments. Hi to Jan of the Dragons, Adam Greenside, and Mark Lee Willis. All correct. Thank you for playing along.
I don't have a guess. I'm sick.
Aaron Shackelford says, is Barry Poo going to make an appearance on Raw tonight? Have a great day, gents.
Right. Is this some SmackDown bullshit?
No,
Not guilty.
it was Wrestle Culture.
Oh, the other one.
I like the sound of it, though.
Because that was Rob, you know what?
Yeah.
Who was who gave Joey Janela the lighter fluid to light his foot on fire before he super kicked someone.
Hell of a hand.
And Barry Poo was one of the options that people were enjoying.
The New Age Outhouse.
Matt Rains says, happy Monday, gents. Happy Monday to you too, Matt.
Hey, happy Monday.
As all of us, Matt says he's living vicariously through the Panda Blair himself, Adam Blair. I saw him with a baseball bat-sized beer just the other day. Goated life he lives. Have a great day, brothers. You too, Matt.
Speaking of oddly shaped receptacles, I took the kids to the beach yesterday, and along the way you can get like the donuts, the smells goated, or you could get like whatever. Or like there's a slush vendor.
Oh yeah,
where you can get loads of slush. I was like, there's a cola slush there, and I want it. So I was perusing the wacky shapes that are designed the kids to go, I want that one, I want that one. And as a big kid at heart, I was like, I want that one. It's just this long thing. Just walking around South Shields, the coast, with two kids, before I realised, hang on, it's got a little bra and thong on. It was like one of those, like, it was like meant to be like a sexy lady. And I was walking around with it, and then James was like, hey, yo, that's suspicious. And I was like, what? Oh, God, I'll get it right. Perfect.
He said to the kids, like, come on, don't drop your willy straws. I like that slush car. It's the one behind that, like, pub's car park, isn't it?
Yeah,
I love that one. The range there is unbelievable.
They were saying you can mix and match them, just not to get them all from the same vat. I was like, no, let's have a cooler, thanks. I was imagine this guy going, I'll have a bit of this and a bit of that.
Oh, I'm like, Tommy Dreamer there, man. I'll take all 8. I'm hardcore. Remember the ones in Vegas that were, like, full of booze?
Yeah.
Like, over a yard's worth. Like, there was one that was we saw something, it's a boot. It's just a big old boot. A boot full of booze slush. I was like, wow. It's better here than everywhere. It's a fed as a place.
Mr. Phoenix says, apparently there's a big announcement at Battleground, that being the upcoming NXT.
What?
We
It
maxed
was the
out on
fan.
Wrestle-
It wasn't your pathetic throw. It was the fan altering the trajectory. Oh! Have a go.
We maxed out on Wrestle Culture with this. He's throwing the hat, ladies and gentlemen. Oh!
Really was an Omega G1, that one, wasn't it, on the Wrestle Culture?
Yeah.
First try.
So yeah, this coming weekend, and we'll talk more about it tomorrow on Wednesday with the preview and review of NXT, is NXT Battleground. You're grounded! Battlegrounded! You're a winner! Ding, 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 which is the sound of a casino paying out. And you often have to pay out to stay in a casino, but where's the best place to stay in Las Vegas?
Probably the beautiful Oyo Hotel and Casino.
Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Apparently there's a big announcement at Battleground, so do we get another TNA star, an NXT star going the other way, or the announcement of a Worlds Collide?
What's he going to collide with?
TNA?
TNA?
Yeah.
Hang on.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I mean, why are you pretending?
It's got Nick
What's your favourite 20...
He does this bit.
Nick Nemeth and Mustafa Ali. I already know the answer, so.
What's your top 5 TNA matches of 2024?
Too many to choose from.
No. What's your specifically your top 5? What's your favourite event?
Reverse Battle Royal.
A load of
Slammiversary.
I enjoyed Hard to Kill, didn't you?
Hard to Kill, yeah. I love Hard to Kill.
You want Joe Hendry.
I want
Yes.
Joe Hendry.
But I want him in Clash of the Castle, so I don't want them to spoil that.
It's true.
Battleground. So, Dirty Dango, please.
Who are the current? Obviously, it's so many matches, and it's all subjective, and there's so much quality that even I forget. Like, what's my favorite TNA matches? Get off.
Sorry, you saying something.
Get off. No, right now.
Go on, ask me the question.
No.
Moose, world champion, of course. Jordan Grace. And some other people got belts, but too many to mention probably now. I don't want to waste too much time.
I would
genuinely,
earnestly like to see Chris Bay. Earnestly, I would like to see.
What colour are the ropes?
What, right now? On which show? Depends which show you're talking about.
Impact Wrestling.
Oh, Red.
No. No,
No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about Raw. Sorry.
No, you weren't.
We're on the Raw preview. I've got confused.
No, you haven't.
But anyway, what would you like to see?
What?
A TNA star being announced at Battleground, an NXT star going the other way, or a Worlds Collide?
Who asked this question again?
Mr. Phoenix.
Ask Camfled.
Worlds Collide is the shout I hadn't considered. I never cared for that concept because I never cared for NXT UK. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be a big TNA fan, but I think they are going to get, they'll get some mileage out of this on NXT, and these things always favour WWE.
Yeah.
Well, and to be honest, they tend to work against TNA. Historically, they've worked with, New Japan, and New Japan infamously was just, we're going to stop sending our guys because you've nearly broke Kazuchika Okada.
Yes.
Tanahashi was sent there to die. AEW comfortably, and for all the right reasons as well, won that, sort of talent exchange, however you want to phrase it. WWE will do the same. TNA don't look in great shape from all the reports you hear coming out of it, so all the wrestlers, I imagine, will be looking on with interest as to whether or not there's a chance of that extra exposure, even if it's just, and this is in relative terms, NXT is not massive, but you're getting in front of the right people.
Yes.
You have that one great night in the Performance Centre, and who knows who you impress, who you get to meet, all of that sort of stuff. So I had, if you're a TNA wrestler right now, you're keeping your fingers crossed that it's you, or you're hoping that your tape's gotten seen. You hope that Dolph Ziggler, right? All joking aside, someone like a Nick Nemeth, obviously people aren't going to be fantasy booking who's Nick Nemeth going to wrestle, but it doesn't hurt if you've wrestled him and he's putting in a word.
NXT legend, Nick Nemeth, former champion.
Right, and this is what I mean. It sounds like we're being unnecessarily cruel to him. That's not who people are fantasy booking. You are. He's just left.
Yeah.
That's not who people are fantasy booking, but it's who he might recommend, or who, the names getting exchanged.
Yeah.
It's, if you're a TNA wrestler right now, this is a potentially a huge opportunity for you. So you're going to be wanting something like, God damn it, no.
I'd watch the hell out of that. Not for the right reasons, mind you.
Dreamer versus Matt Hardy on NXT fucking T. That's as bad as it's got.
Well, that reminds me, do you want a swear update?
Yes.
You changed this fucking business. Just like a little place down the road. It was called the ECW Arena. Oh, who could get injected in my veins?
Didn't look this good back then.
How do you want to
doll the place up?
How do you want to do this? Do you want a combined original Dadley Boyz total for people to guess in the chat? Or
Yeah.
So we're on the 3rd of June. Feel free to guess in the chat how many combined swears Hamlet and Sidgwick have done for the year.
Kawada Day.
Is it today?
How are you celebrating it?
Careless. Let us know in the chat.
What a cock.
Let us know in the chat what the combined swears from Michael Hamlet and Michael Sidgwick
Such
for
an
the year
arsehole.
so far.
I couldn't respect them less, Sidgwick, actually. I think you're fine. To take us through WWE development? Oh, what? They're just...
Thank you for everyone sending their Brian Vennig, descending ascending order. All good. Right, I'll go through some of the guesses we've had. Yeah, combined. Yeah, so nowhere near. Thank you everyone for guessing. for balance, Nicholas has had 3 swears for the year. We are working on getting him a microphone. Don't worry.
There you go.
There we go. Stacks. I never hear for this, but apparently he's had 7.
Yeah, half the time.
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes on the preview.
I think it's tricky with counting his swears because that's not how he's blue, is it? It's not his bad language.
Yeah.
It's his filthy mind and filthy content of his jokes.
No, I've always heard his jokes are suitable for all ages. Are they?
Some aren't great with the kids.
Okay. I've done 66 for the year.
It's coming home.
But in terms, John Cass says 256, Just Darryl 323, Mark Lee Willis 337, Rat Dogs Gaming and Matt Rains both saying 420. And then apparently they're both saying nice or a sunglasses emoji. Why would they say that, Sage?
Stand already. Apparently, the weed toker starts to do it at 4:20.
Ah.
Because like the alien just gets there at 4.
I don't know what. I don't know why it's 4:20. I don't know. What do you mean 5:20? You get off work.
Yeah.
Unwind with a big spliff. I never understood the 4:20 thing.
No.
20th of April, of course. Next year's night 2 of WrestleMania
Oh God, yes.
in Las Vegas.
4:20. We do it backwards. 24.
But the closest guess goes to Marcel Laviolette. Thank you, Marcel.
Hey, I like Marcel.
Because in terms of a combined total for the year so far, Michael Sidgwick and Michael Hamflett have sworn 946 times.
Sorry, guys.
441 for Hamflett, Sidgwick breaking the 500 barrier last week.
That's closer than it's been.
It is.
He's been effing and jeffing all over the place.
Why? What's excitement? Surely not your review SmackDown.
Decline in WWE's quality, probably.
He's been angry. Angry swears.
Passionate disagreement with Wilborn. Yeah.
Love it. Love everything about it. Speaking of which, Andy says, love the AJ angle. Early establishing a respect between them and story of AJ raging against time made these actions of a desperate man. Character development driven by stakes. Great storytelling.
Loved it. Earnestly loved it. Like it's for like a 3-week build rematch at Clash at the Castle because Cody wants to work the show. Pretty inspired on those terms to get a second match out of AJ. That Cody match, I watched that back the other week. It's still my WWE match of the year, that Backlash one. Love it. It's got atmosphere. It's got Cody as the babyface I want to see. It's a hard job to be the babyface world champion. John Cena didn't make it look easy, but he made it look.
He made it look really hard actually because half the crowd hated him.
Yeah, but yeah,
It was
like
what they used to say, divisive.
Divisive.
divisive. They used to call him.
And he was, but
AJ, like I feel like I want to be the last person to say, actually, maybe he's not completely finished. I'm sure that'll be Sidge because neither of us want to just admit, but.
I don't want to admit it.
Well, like, remember all that crack about, like, sort of around people saying, you stupid idiot saying AJ was finished. It's like, well, he was finished for all those years.
We're better off being crap for longer.
I think he's having a pretty good year. I think it's like, if this extends past Clash at the Castle, because he will lose to Cody, and then it's like, what next for this AJ character? This will be probably the best year he's had since 2016. Did he have a better one in 17? He had a good year in 17, didn't he? As the
World champion.
Yeah. He didn't have a...
World 2019.
What did he do in 2019?
Had the program with Brian.
He did. Had the disappointing run.
That was 2020 though.
20, yeah.
I was talking about 2019. That's a different year.
Was it 2019 he had the disappointing run against Joe when none of the matches ever really got there?
I quite like those matches. I think that was 2018.
I like the
though.
story.
I like
Because
the
Correct.
Truly, we were speaking of a man with a Hall of Fame legacy.
Yes.
Was that all right? I was okay. So, yeah, I really think he's up there. 2016, 2024. Hell of a run for AJ Styles.
Looks confused.
Sorry, it's another question from Mr. Phoenix. In the topic of double champions, would you agree that the titles have to be different in nature? For example, single and tag, single and trio, single and pure rules, rather than single and single is a bit of hat on hat.
I love single and tags. It can't be for a long time, but I think it makes the guy look really cool. And like they're just running the show, they're having a hell of a run.
So you're basically saying crisp boy, that more is more. More belts is better.
Well, like Chris, it's much about the context and the flavour, Sidge.
Okay.
Like, I like a tag, and if you're a world champion, you win a tag belt, I think that's a pretty cool look. Or if you've got your secondary title and in the meantime you've a bit of a side quest and you've won the tag belts, I think it's great. I don't need too many Becky 2 belts, Keith Lee situations, because typically it does create this dead end narratively and you've got to justify why you're lifting a title off somebody. I did want Cody to win the US title. All that being said, just I think that would have been quite a unique thing that I wouldn't have, like Cody would have sold me on it. I like watching him, a man with the business in his blood, find ways to sell you on stuff and make you care. And I was quite disappointed when they ripped that one away because in a week he'd made me think, all right, yeah, he does want the US title. Why would he not? His dad, the Grand Slam, all of these things. So there's like goods and bads, but I like a tag and a single, but not 2 singles generally, unless you're doing the Osprey belt collector thing, because that helps mop up.
I prefer a merge. There's too many titles.
Sailor Airman, apologies, we can't can't play it now, but I did play it in the office for the boys earlier. And if you are either listening to this or watching this, if you listen to this or watching it on YouTube, you can click on the link right now. But if you're listening back to this, just search for Sailor Airman on YouTube, because Sailor Airman writes, as Hamlet says, theme songs are important. So as the unofficial songwriter of the Michael Hamlet fan club, and he's made a brilliant AI, I assume, song for Dr. Fed.
I'm going to infuriate all my friends with this so much. They're going to get this in the WhatsApp chat later on and absolutely hate it. I can't wait to send it. Thank you very much, Sailor Airman. I love it.
Hi to Michael Laverley III as well, who says it's the number one Michael here. How are we? Very good, thank you, Michael. Aditya Krishnamurthy says, hello, you all, to the most goated trio. I think the Ilya Ricochet Bron stuff leads to a three-way at Clash at the Castle, or is this all leading to Money in the Bank stuff? Love the pod.
That would be class.
How many matches are official for Clash?
2, I think.
So you got a maximum of 3 more.
Yeah. That'd be amazing. Bron and was it Bron, Ilya, and JD McDonough had an absolute ripper of a 3-way in NXT. That was like a real turning point for me and Ilya Dragunov and understanding his appeal. Bron was finally finding himself. I think that would kick ass. And this crowd's going to be hot. Like
Ricochet can do a job as well.
Yeah. WWE.
His contract's running out soon, isn't it?
Think so, eh?
Join the club.
Join the club.
WWE have, and it's not bad business, they're creating this thing. You see it with King and Queen of the Ring as well. After Backlash, France, and another show I can't remember, this competitive crowd thing is happening. I saw people after Backlash like rallying the troops that were going to Clash at the Castle. They want to be in the conversation as the hottest crowd of the year. It's a great position for WWE to be in. So even if there's no stakes other than cheer when these guys do mad stuff, this match is going to offer you that.
Imagine if they beat Germany the night before.
Oh, God,
carnage.
Yeah. Glasgow's still going to be upside down.
Mark Lee Willis says, could Becky show up in AEW for one time?
It's not the way, sadly, that contracts work. If you're a promoter, you're going to want someone and tie them down for a long, long time. I understand that Tony Khan has used various performers on an ad hoc basis, like Timothy Thatcher, etc. There's like loads of them.
Yeah, Rush recently,
yeah, I mean, for a handful of dates. So it's not in Tony Khan's MO, but I can't imagine Becky Lynch doing that. I think she'll want to secure a bag for the future of her family.
She just wanted a bit of time off, didn't she? She was going to take it after Mania.
Anyway. There's no time off when you've got a child that small.
It's going to be time. It's going to be time on now.
Time on.
Hurrying back. Can we sort that contract out? Actually, just to circle back to Aditya's thing, I really like the idea of Bron just spearing a ladder in the Money in the Bank ladder match.
I'd love him in Money in the Bank. I think realistically, when have they experimented that much with big guys in Money in the Bank? You had big shows, comically big ladder. Kane, oddly, because he was in the first one, sort of leaves a memory or two.
Remember when at Revolution that did the Proto Meat Madness? Revolution 2022, I want to say, where there was loads of big lads in it.
Yes.
Wardlow, Keith Lee, a couple of others. Wasn't great.
No, but you need one, don't you? You need one big guy for the other.
You don't need anything.
Well, you don't need anything. I'm saying you just want it. You just want Money in the Bank to come here because it's just another exciting WWE PLE. I would pick, if you're going to pick a monster character out of everybody on offer, if it's no disrespect to a Bronson Reed, for example, you're picking Bron, aren't you?
Yeah.
The one guy that can just stop all of this nonsense and all this flying around and kill guys.
Marcel Laviolette says, howdy all from the number one Dadley mega fan. Wishing you guys have a good wrestling week. Sige, Adam and Hamflet, how would a conversation go with Ilya, Stax and the Dead Man? So I think they'd probably be sat around, and I think Stax would probably start the conversation off, and he'd say something along the lines of, hey guys, what's the deal with a game of bones? Or something like that.
I just got talking like that.
Beats me.
Sorry, beats you or beat you? I'm not sure if we misheard that. Ilya.
What?
You look like a guy that would enjoy going one-on-one with the best pure striker in the history of the business.
Yes.
God. Hey, funny guy, got any jokes?
I think he's done a series of jokes about bones, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Hey, Dead Man. What's the difference between bone and marrow? Didn't marrow your mum last night. See you later, guys.
I don't think he respects him. No,
Respect the business. I can only do one thing, man.
Druzy. We didn't explore this enough, but like Undertaker's visit to NXT last year, just to like raise like he beat up Bron Breakker and he raised Carmelo's hand and all that nonsense. Like I really would have loved to see him like sort of meet the family, like the backstage bit for a 24 special. Gimmick doesn't make too much sense. The old dead man. One of the mafia guys is just not realistic.
He's the kind of person who would say that, even though he's a joke himself. Yeah,
motorbike riding zombie from hell.
Yeah.
A bottle of Jack and terrible crack. That's a dead man.
Digging holes and fucking holes.
See the Batista clip I put online when he was like Leviathan.
Oh, yeah.
And Sid from OVW slaps a tit and he's like, I mean, not dressed like Satan, but I'm still down with your boss. It's not an admin job. It's some work for him. It's a figure of speech taker. Grow up.
He does need to grow up, doesn't he?
He does. Spits the backy on the wall.
Yeah.
Right, final few questions. Marley Willis says, no, you're not high on AWTs, but can we shout out the Nyla Rose her top specifically because I came across a dickhead on X this weekend? Absolutely. Love Nyla Rose.
Yep.
Yeah, it's class.
Drew C says, good morning, gents. I got rid of Twitter, so this is the best place to ask. Who do you think are the next champions? I can't see anyone on the upswing. In AEW, this is. Garcia is the most promising young guy, but I can't see him winning a belt soon.
Well, for in-depth reasons, check out the Collision review. I really like the idea of, because I get recency bias, of Shibata and Garcia being the ones to take the belts off the Young Bucks. One, I'm trying to manifest it not being FTR. And two, I like the idea of Garcia's like the perennial Nelly man. Shibata's the person who's come back, but not quite at his best. And I think like between them, the comeback guy who hasn't really done it, and the perennial Nelly man, it'd be nice if they had this like sort of symbiotic relationship where they need to come together to achieve a common goal in different ways. And I don't know if you watched the match on Collision yet, 'cause you usually wait for the ITV broadcast. But they've got this kind of Kikuchi-Kabashi dynamic. Where like the hard guy comes in and saves.
Totally visualize it as well.
Yeah.
Because like Garcia's done the tribute stuff with Shibata in the past when he was getting serious in the tournament and that. That'd be great, actually. Yeah, Master and Apprentice type thing. And as well, Boots and Trunks guys beating the Young Bucks, but as the baby faces. It's good stuff as well, isn't it? Like they're cutting them down to size and just beating them.
Yeah, and I just want to give Takeshita a belt and have him wrestle matches every week.
He won a match.
He beat Penta, but obviously Jack Perry's going to win that TNT title.
Who's beating Ospreay? I don't want to say like he's beating Swerve, and like I don't mean to like sort of piss on Swerve's reign because I love this Forbidden Door booking. But even if he beats him at Forbidden Door, I still feel like Ospreay beats Swerve down the line.
Depends who gets hottest out of Omega, Page, and MJF, because there's no one who hasn't won a title yet that is anywhere near that level for me, which is probably a concern.
Yeah.
Darshura, thank you for this, has given us a trivia game for the pod. Ooh. True or false? True or false, Roman Reigns has held a championship 16 times. Bonus question, can you guess the year he wasn't a champion? Have fun.
Sidgwick 2019.
Correct.
Of course, yeah. I'm going to wait for his response in the chat. Yeah, true or false, 16-time champion?
I mean, it feels true unless it's false because it's more.
Yeah.
There was that insane stat, wasn't there, about, you remember before Moxley won the IWGP, that a member of the Shield was wearing a title for the first time pretty much since they won the
I want to say fewer than 16.
You reckon? Tags, he won the US, he won the IC, he's had multiple worlds. I could see him getting a 16, I'll say true.
Darshura, over to you.
2019 is bang on.
A couple more questions. John Catter says, as you no longer do the 5-star review, what is the absolute worst segment you've each seen on WWE broadcasting?
The absolute worst.
We joke about it, but there was something like, this isn't even one of those like, disgraceful, whatever, but like, Aleister Black and Apollo Crews going that long in the Performance Center like unacceptable wrestling television.
So you like wrestling now, do you?
Yeah.
Even though you don't.
Eat all your wrestling.
You're just trying to pad out 3 hours.
Yeah, that like
it was symbolically bleak, wasn't it?
Yeah, like all the gross ones, they kind of blend into one another when you watch so many. Like
one of the like, if you get away from your Vince McMahon trying to absolve himself of blame in the death of her husband from Melanie Pillman, like that tier.
Oh, I thought it just meant from the era we reviewed, but yeah, God, yeah, like the.
Oh, is that what it was from the era we reviewed?
You've each seen on WWE broadcasting.
Because I mean, yeah, there's that laundry list of awful, like ugly WWE segments. Yeah,
I would have said the Shane McMahon Braun promos, but actually, I think I've turned babyface.
The Shane McMahon Braun thing, right? I always find it weird saying this because yes, I'm technically a part of wrestling media, but I've never said I'm an investigative journalist. I've always put myself forward as a critic / reviewer. That's my field of interest, the one I think I'm good at. I'm not an investigative reporter. Someone should have said, what's wrong with Shane? Like, why did no one detect? People said, oh, it's bad. His delivery was bad. There was something, I think, quite wrong with Shane McMahon in that segment.
Yeah.
He could not get his words out.
didn't look well.
Stupid is as stupid does, mate. So
He looked ill. It was phenomenally awkward. Go back and watch it if you can make it through. There was something wrong with Shane McMahon that night, more than usual.
I think probably Sid you'll love this one as much as I absolutely hated it, but I find the Charlotte Becky belt swap like physically like it hurts my stomach to watch it.
It's funny.
Knowing like and Becky Lynch has spoken about it in the book and like they've made nice and that sort of eases it a little bit. I think if that was the end of their friendship forever, considering all they'd had to endure together, it'd be even more heartbreaking to watch. But just that's wrestling broken. That's WWE, pro wrestling, whatever, broken. It is failing on every conceivable level as a work and as a shoot in front of your very eyes. And everyone, crowd included, are being made to suffer. Excruciating that for me. Like remember the first belt swap where it was like New Day, sort of, like having it just like hand over tag belts. This was that times a million. Yeah. I thought that was as bad as it could get. And it was like, well, the colours of the straps. Like this was like, I'd take that 10 times over than having to watch those two in the ring trying to hold it together.
Yes, as Sahil Shetty says, the FTR shower part was cringe. Then they're shaving each other's backs. I was going to say the entire episode that caused me to have a breakdown about 5 years ago. Shout out to Colton who reminded me of this with Usi Hart. And
if you rewatched it again, you say it was good.
Disagree.
Dax even put it over, didn't he? He said like, I got backstage and everybody was cheering and clapping. And
cheered everything he's done.
I did.
Do you know what I mean?
I think he's like, he'd love that though, wouldn't he? Because that's his tribute to Brett. And Savio was there, was a special guest. He had tears in his eyes.
Tears in his eyes.
I ain't no Bret Hart fan, but wait a minute, I am
the biggest, actually. Biggest.
How many times have you read his book, kid? 85 times.
Mimi Burris, thank you as always, Mimi, for getting in touch. She says, hello from the number one Wilborn mega fan. Thank you, Mimi. Are you guys getting sick of the constant...
Is our number two?
Are you guys getting sick of the constant chop / no selling style that every match seems to have in AEW?
Yes, I actually pointed this out a few months ago. Homogenized style in pro wrestling. It feels like everything's been imported. Everything's been imported from into the States, from Japan, the strong style, delayed sell, like this fighting spirit, machismo, I will not back down, etc. The more like athletic flourishes from Lucha in general. I had a really big problem with this last year, and it hasn't really resolved itself to any degree. But yes, I do have a problem with it. I do find it incredibly tedious. I don't get up for it as much as I used to, and I don't know what the way out is. And like, short of pioneering a brand new style, is there anything left to like blend in, to fold in, to incorporate? Not that I can see. No. It does feel like everything has been done. It does feel like everything's been done, and it also feels like everything has been done to a quite incredible standard already. And I think it's Mimi.
Yep.
That accounts for a bit of my malaise. I'm feeling a lot of malaise, and I have done over the past 12 months, if not longer, and that is a huge part of it. It just feels like where's the range? What else can you kind of rip off, incorporate? And the truly worrying thing is, for me, is that if you look at the independents and on the international stage, like, I don't even get the chance to be the old man who goes, oh, I hate what these new kids are doing. there's nothing that they're doing. You know what I mean? There's nothing where I would be happy, honestly, on a weird spiritual level, if some kind of new style or new movement arose that I was like, I don't get this. Because I'm happy that other people get it and there's a chance that all of this can move on. Because there's nothing underground that's happening. Maybe I'm too old and too uncool, where I'm like, I follow cooler younger people on X/Twitter who would know. There's nothing left.
Yeah, that is one style, but I agree with Sidge. It's not that everything hasn't been cannibalized within an inch of its life, and like it's great having 2 North American weeklies, but especially when there's such an arms race for what's going to be the next cool thing, and each one especially now that each one actually wants to get to it. That's probably where Vincent McMahon didn't want to get to anything. He just wanted what he liked the look of. My thing is, I hate seeing wrestlers that in your heart don't have to do this, but feel the need to betray their wrestling identity mid-match. Like for Gunther, for me, it's not just chops. And for a lot of, to be honest, and I've seen this criticism, and I don't think it's unfair, the splash isolated, the Grapple lads pick up on this a lot, and they're not wrong, and it's not the only ones I've seen, where the Gunther splash probably shouldn't be his big kill shot anymore, because it used to be a massive guy resorting to the top.
Oh, he said it too much.
And he's now smaller than a lot of the guys he wrestles. But where Gunther still hits for me is that he is 100% his identity within the matches. I think this quest for acclaim that we've seen for years and years and years now sees wrestlers just abandoning the principles of their character. And I don't care if you're not a quote-unquote 5-star wrestler. I'd rather see you show utter conviction being your best 3-star self, because then a great match will come forth. And there's loads of examples of WWE, especially because they're better at that, because of course there's more, you're allowed to just be your best self in AEW and do whatever you think is best. WWE agent it more, but I would rather have more of that when I feel like I've seen everything of everything.
Every time I feel like it's all been done, it can't get better, let's just shut up the shop and come back in 6 months and have a nice long off season. Every now and then I'll see that clip resurface of Dynamite Kid hitting Bret Hart with a knee drop on the top rope, but it's like that. There's a sleight of hand in terms of execution that is missing. I see that GIF from, is it the late 70s or at very least the early 80s?
The Stampede one.
Yeah, the Stampede one, where it's like, how have you not broken his nose? And it's just because you're an expert magician at making the illusion look deadly. Maybe there's a bit of that. Maybe it just needs to get stripped back.
Just to wrap up then, Sailor Evan says, Michael Hamlet's got the best takes in the wrestling world. He never fakes. Dr. Fed, he's our guiding light, and with his insights, he gets it right. And I also want to shout out to Rakesh, who says, I started to listen to the pods
Likes the Fed.
at 17 years, 2 years ago, and I'd like to thank Sidge for explaining the jokes.
Sorry, Sig, what was that last bit? I was too busy burying Hamlet.
Rakesh started listening 2 years ago and likes to thank you for explaining the jokes. And Darshaw has come back saying, it is true. If you count FCW in 2012, it makes it 17, but his first championship was in 2013. 4-time WWE champ, 3-time Universal, Intercontinental and US champ, WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and 1-time tag champion with Seth. And on that, we shall conclude for now. Thank you for everyone who's joining us on YouTube. Thank you for all your donations and your comments, as always. We'll be back tomorrow.
Nice gang.
To review Monday Night Raw. But you can continue the conversation with us on X at WhatCultureWWE. Well, actually, you can follow all three of us. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
Follow Michael Sidgwick at
I'm Sidgwick.
Follow me at Adam Wilmore. Follow us all at WhatCultureWWE. Follow our brilliant producer at It's Adam Nicholas. And make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. The SmackDown and AEW Collision reviews are available right now. And as I said, we'll all be back tomorrow to review Monday Night Raw. But for now, this has been the Raw preview. My thanks to Hamlet Sidgwick. Thank you for joining us. And we will see you soon.